Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, or Heyath if you prefer. I'm back with another slice of another code R. Why is it always slices with me? In the last episode, we had some fun times with task puzzles, and after about half an hour made it into the old boathouse, and I didn't know what to do next, but I didn't exhaust every possibility, so it's not as if I'm stuck. And honestly, we probably just have to talk to Matthew, because we can. So, we're searching the boathouse, good sir. You told me to come into this room, and there is nothing of value in here. What about this stepladder? You're not my real ladder. Something that looks like a ladder. What? Really? That was such insightful commentary, he says, not saying anything of value for himself. Well, I don't know what you want me to do in here, then. Matthew Potatoes. That was like a cat-headed reference to Matthew Matosis, but I don't even know who that is. Oars! Paddles! Ah! Well, what do you want me to find, Matthew? Do you want me to point out the obvious footprints, or are they ours? Oh look, someone wore shoes in here. No shit. And then there's this open door as well that has footprints in front of it that you won't even be able to see because Ashley's standing in the way. So, as I was saying in the last episode, this door is wide open. Why did we need to do... Yeah, why did we need to do the task puzzle if this door was open the whole time? And why did you follow me out here? Is our objective not in the inside of the boathouse? You told me to go into the other room. Good grief. Well, we can see that tree in here, and oh look, there's a floaty thing. I believe... Oh, this is what we needed the rope for, and lake of piss if you... Yep, look, highlight it, turns into a lake of piss. Look, there's a thing! They used this... That doesn't look like your bag, your bag was white, surely. The puzzle they used here was one of the ones they used... In fact, that's the only one that I remember from the advertising campaign for this game, when they advertised it in the UK. And so, this puzzle, I knew the answer to from the outset, because they used it in the advert. I do think that their marketing campaign, when they first marketed this game in the UK, wasn't really as good as it could have been, because it seemed like it was targeted exclusively at, like, not middle-aged women, but I don't know, something like that. They were marketing it at a very narrow demographic, when really it could be for anyone, and there's something floating in there. Delightful. I don't think I want to know any more about that. So, we now have at least some form of objective, and what is this? Was this even here before? Did I even check before? It's a giant fruit polo! Yes, you're just gonna casually take that, and oh look, there's a thing that's probably going to give you a flashback. Fishy bracelet. Yep, here we go. Honest to God. Can you tell I was watching my Honey Pop Abridged video recently for no particular reason? Huh, so your mother was painted on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel and God likes fish, apparently. Well, that was insightful. How can you even tell it's a man? Maybe it's just a really convincing sock puppet. But without the sock. What? And shout me back into the real world. As I've said, if she were to have a flashback and there was no one around to call her back into the real world, she'd just stand there staring into space for the rest of eternity. Well, I mean, she remembered someone's arm, but that's not really much, is it? I suppose, given the demographic they were going after with the UK marketing campaign, it kind of makes sense from a visual novel aspect. Maybe going after the same people who enjoy Agatha Christie books or Poirot books, as I do as well, but still. I think they were pushing the novel end of it too much and not enough puzzle game, you know? Well, I'm saying that as if you're a person who's here who can reply to my face. Are they still talking? Okay, just lashing out. Rude ass child. It's not about wanting to remember, it's to... You knew him at a different stage in your development. You knew him when you were like 7. Ashley remembers her from when she was 3. Development of hippocampus and flashbacks and shit. You were too old for it. And even then, I'm only guessing that he's 12. I think he is, I just don't remember for certain. Child, you do not understand how flashbacks work. The sapient mind is a hot mess. I'm sure it's understandable, but we're probably like centuries away from fully understanding it, I don't know. But then again, in this world, they have devices that can alter and erase memories, so what do I know about what these people know? Who knows what they know, because I know what I know, but they don't know what they know that I know that they know. You know? They're still talking. Wow. Ah yes, alluding to the events of the previous game. So... I'm guessing there was probably some sort of pun in the names of the characters of the DS game, but I don't know. I'm still too hung up on Robbins and Crusoe, and we're gonna have another flashback because we've seen your arse father. Who's the midget? That was so uncalled for. Emily. Michael, Emily, and Kelly. Is it you by any chance? No, it's your identical clone who looks sort of like a peach, but with hair. Where were they standing to have that photo taken? Was it the fucking Rapture or something? Because you could just see them and then everything behind them is white. I mean, if it were a watercolour painting, I'd understand, but it's supposed to be a photo. Surely. I could make some sort of birds and the bees talk joke out of that, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this train of thought. So what do you remember? Are you going to pretend to have flashbacks so that you seem like us, so you can assimilate with the cool kids? So you did some sort of boat thing, but you didn't have a flashback, so it's not canon. Well, congratulations, you remembered a thing. You are horribly over-dramatising it. You're not the main character. You don't get to do that, Matthew Crusoe. You don't get to over-dramatise your memories. That's our thing. You can't sit with us. Anyway, can we make progress at last? And can I take the bracelet? Or are you gonna have the flashback again? Oh, okay, so we can't... I was going to say, surely. But apparently not. And I was right in the last episode. I thought that rope over here looked takeable. So let's take it. Apparently she needed to know that she needed it in order to... That's not how games like these work. You're not supposed to... You're supposed to just take everything and not know that you need it until you need it. Anyway, first instance of combining items. Tie the thing to the thing and we can thing with our stuff. And so it's become a boomerang polo. That's totally good commentary right there. Now, am I going to have to do something funny with the Wii Remote in order to get the thing to the thing? I'm wording so good. By the way, my batteries on this Wii Remote still haven't run out, and I'm really impressed about that. And I know we need to combine it with this somehow. That is rather convenient. Why is there just a random winch just chilling where we just so happen to need one? Why did you take the time to wind the rope up that many times? Because you're going to need to throw it out anyway. Because that's this puzzle. This is the puzzle that they use, as I said, to market the game. That was good. That was a good throw. I'm not entirely sure how the game wants me to throw it because I have very limited arm space. What do? I may cut until I get it right. Well, that worked a little bit better. there's a delay on... Like, I release the A button at the point that I should in order to throw it. But there's some sort of delay, which means that it recognizes it too late. And so that keeps happening. It's not the most intuitive thing. There we go. That was nowhere near... Like, I had to release the A button early, and, like, that wasn't a good time. Not that this is a particularly difficult puzzle, it's just... the execution is a bit lacking. And yes, that's so obviously your bag. It's so obviously the right colour and shape and everything. Genius child. Well, let's have a look inside anyway. Oh, it has a combination lock. Happity joy. Why didn't you say so? Deary fuck. Oh god, are you pretending to have another flashback? Oh, of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Oh, well, I suppose that's fair enough, but nevertheless. If he's been gone for 5 years, it's not going to be his bag, it's going to be one of the same brand, just by coincidence, surely. Well, I mean, we can't. Combination lock. I can see that from this distance and resolution. It's a little bit locked. And the TAS isn't going to help you here. Okay, just give us a prolonged shot of Ashley's arse, apparently. Yeah, I noticed. Don't force this on us. It doesn't do wood. Initially, that's not made of wood, but I suppose we're obliged to try all the same. So, remember something about your father. Did he give us the photo, or did he... Oh. Oh, it's letters. Well, knowing this game... Yes, halt. It's probably... Assuming... Is there not a T? I thought maybe it would spell Matt and everything would be happy. In that case, what about... M for Michael, perhaps? And then E for Emily. And is there another M on this one, or am I going to have to go for K for Kelly? And is there an M on this? M for Matthew? Is that it? Did I do a good? No? I'm just going to keep trying these combinations and hoping for the best. Because those letters mean the most to the person who owns this bag. I may have to come back and... wait, hang on. I just had a stupid idea. The password's not Lake, is it? Because that would be so fucking stupid. Because I don't think we could put them in age order by family if you go by the letters. I swear, if it's Lake, I am going to punch someone. Okay, that was a slap, but still. I was trying to think clever. Why the fuck would your password be Lake? Just... What the fuck? And there was me trying to be clever. She said floppy. I'm surprised you even know what a floppy disk is. Oh, don't tell me. You don't know what one is because you're too young. You think it's just a 3D print of a save icon. Children these days. Ugh. Oh yeah, Crusoe Resort. That's a thing because that's his surname. Yeah, his father's company. I never would have guessed considering it's got the name in common. Crusoe Resort at LakeJuliet.com, apparently. Oh, how convenient that the bag was immersed in its own password and now its contents are useless. apart from the logo. Well, the floppy disk is probably useless as well, because it's got a big bloody waterlogged and a tiny car! We're going to drive so many fucks in this. Are you going to have a flashback again with your pretend memories? You know what I mean. He's trying to have memories to make himself seem important. We established he can't be trusted in the last episode when he revealed to us that he was lying about how kidnapped his father was. God, what else is in this bag? It's like bloody Mary Poppins up in his house. Oh, it's a chemical thing. They spoil what this is on the back of the box. Water analysis. You don't need a PhD to find the pH balance, or some... I don't know, I'm trying to be clever and funny. Well, there you go, it actually is a pH testing kit. Now, I did study chemistry for quite a few years, and obviously I understand what pH is and what it signifies and all that. But what the fuck does it stand for? Like, potato hydration, I'm gonna go with that. And oh look, there's an obvious symbol on the door behind them. Are you gonna have a flashback by any chance? Oh, would you look at that? She literally is looking at that, and... Oh, that's funny. There were letters in that photo on... You see on that ribbon there? There were letters... See, there's letters on it in the photo, but not in her flashback. Your mind is fallible, darling. Now, I know where that door is, but I think it's spoilers, so I'm not going to say anything. But I'm sure there totally won't be a puzzle later on involving opening it and solving the mystery of the rose, the moon, the sword, the toilet.
The toilet.
Haven't used that joke in a while. And shout us back to reality. That's totally not going to get old by the end of this series. No, we just decided to stare off into the distance and think about toilets for a while. Not because we need it, but just because it's a funny word. Who took that photo and why? They're just having some... Now I'm just headcanoning that they're just having some laddily banter, while a fourth friend has gone off to the nearby kebab van to get them all some kebabs and chips, and on the way back he took this photo, while they're having their little lad banter, waiting for their kebab. Oh, look at that. There are things there that look like things that we're familiar with. Now, Ashley, you recognise those. Yep. Turns out your mother's pendant is one of at least 3, possibly even 4. It also looks kind of like the Mega Evolution icon symbol thing that looks a little bit DNA-ish. Is it Ranger Asgore coming to tell us to fuck the fuck away? Because that wouldn't surprise me. Where are you going? Wait, how did you know that someone was coming? But... that... Oh, look, it is Ranger Asgore. How could he tell that someone was coming from that distance? And then have enough time to run back that far without crossing paths with him? Well, I mean, this counts as crossing paths. Like, how do they know someone was coming and yet still have enough time for him to run back that way without getting got, is what I'm trying to say. And we're going to get another scolding for doing what we shouldn't, I suppose. The least you could offer us is a cup of tea, Ranger Asgore. Let me guess, no buts? Well, he's being surprisingly understanding with his tiny ass eyes. Ass eyes. Well, I suppose that there is that, there is a Japanese demon called a Shirime, which, it's bald and it has no face. It runs around naked, confusing people. Then it bends over, moons them, pulls its ass cheeks apart and reveals that it has a giant sapphire-coloured eye instead of an anus. I don't think it serves any purpose other than to confuse people. Well, I mean, it's certainly working. And for once, we're actually believed when we say the door was open, which, I mean, it's true, it's just we happened to be the ones that opened it. Yum yum. So, presumably, anything that belongs to JC Valley can be made into our bitch by way of the TAS. Oh, just having a woman's debate, clearly. Well, that makes us sound suspicious, so... We found a bag, and we've already plundered it of all the useful stuff, so you can take it away and we can wash our hands of any criminal ongoings. Goings-on, that's the word. And the thing on his back, well, it's a backpack, obviously, it looks like a thing. But I don't recognise... I recognise it, I just don't remember where it's from. It looks like something from a Pokemon game, but I don't remember exactly what. Like the Versus Seeker, perhaps? No, I mean that bag over there. In the tree, which totally exists. Yes, we're ingenuitive like that because we saw the advertising campaign. And now I'm hungry. Blah. Well, are you gonna... Yeah, go on, pootle away. Hide your sandwich. Eat scrumbles for 12 dinners. I don't know where those random words came from. I'm trying to be entertaining when I have no words to say, and that's a bad idea. But we were at least able to cover for Matt and allow him to escape, and I'm sure if this were Life is Strange, we'd have that butterfly icon in the corner, and we would have possibly been able to fail and let him get caught, but this is not. As I said before, I think there's only one ending. There might be a second one, but I never checked for it, so... Isn't it a little bit suspicious that we're suddenly taking such an interest in what will happen to him? Whereas before we were all, no questions asked, we'll help you, Ranger Asgore. But now we're suddenly really, really concerned about, oh, but if you do find him, are you going to, cut him up and serve him in a pie? Or feed him to the genital police? That what? Tess, what? I'm sorry, just what? After a while, you just learn to stop questioning these thoughts. An old cottage, not to be confused with the cottages that we were supposed to go to 2 episodes ago and that we still haven't gone to. He's making a Merry Andrew of you. Don't tell him about the floppy disk! Oh god, we're gonna be in this conversation for ages because of all of the green text. Well, first of all, old cottage? Who's old and cottaging? And why was I not informed about this sooner? Now, when you say to the right, is that the right from the game's perspective, or our right, which is the left from the game's perspective, because we'll be facing towards the camera? Okay, so apparently this is in America, then. Oh. So 5 years ago, Matthew's father died, and the photographer disappeared. Just throwing that out there. I'm not necessarily saying they're one and the same, but just a thing to consider. So Resort Development closed 5 years ago, presumably when their CEO, Mr. Cheeseman Crusoe, died and exploded and disappeared in that order. Well, isn't that kind of what national parks sort of a little bit are, but just without the tourist trappery? So they have an office and they have a logo, and that's pretty much all that remains of them. Oh, and the boathouse too. Well, that's not quite how businesses work, but they took over it anyway. So, for a moment I was going to complain that why isn't it letting me pick that option? It's because it was just telling us that it is an option, not that we can select it yet. How could you... I was going to say, how could you buy a clock tower? I suppose it's not that difficult if you're a business, but still. So the clock has stopped. Well, I suppose that makes a lot of sense, because we've been here for how many hours now, and we've not heard any dings, dongs, or pwangs? Because those are noises that clocks make, haven't you heard? So first of all, what unfortunate rumour? Did someone die? Was there a murder? A ghost? For fuck's sake, America. And apparently, in some regions of America, if you claim a house is haunted, that'll slash the price of the house down to about a third of its original price. For fuck's sake, America. And why is the clock stopping significant? Because I'm sure it wouldn't... bearing in mind, you had a flashback from seeing it. If you hear it dinging, that's probably going to trigger something as well. So the clock stopped, and that's somehow significant. I misread that as I need to get back to my pistol, and I don't know why. You're going to... just go, well, I mean, you are an authority in America, therefore you're probably going to shoot a lot of people, actually. Because America, land of guns, 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 diabetes and guns. And also hauntings, apparently. Congratulations. So, of that plunder of the bag, what did we actually get to keep? Because he heard about the floppy disk, and the documents are ruined, so he takes the bag, the ruined documents, presumably the floppy disk as well. Half-assed wave. Did we get to keep the photo album, perhaps? And what now? Because Ashley's having a moment. Hello. It's me. You saw him, he left. I'm sure we won't ever cross paths ever again. It's not like he's had enough character development to make him a secondary protagonist or anything. Oh, we got to keep the toy car. Yay. It's a car that makes toy. I don't know how I was going to end that sentence. It's a car that makes toy. And yes, just ask the ether. I'm sure he's bound to reply to you. Oh, is this the end of a chapter? I didn't see that coming. We didn't really get the fullest extent of his story, but... Chapter 2, we were acquainted with Matthew Crusoe. I'm surprised we're at the end of Chapter 2 already. This game's going a lot quicker than I thought. So, end of chapter quiz. Well, at the start of this chapter, we were told to go to his cottage, and we never got to go there for the entire duration of this chapter. So... Oh wow, you're testing me on this. Well... Richard is our father. Sam, I believe, is one of Sans' friends. He's Matthew, of course. Are you trying to trick me into forgetting his name by referring to him as Matt? Still, as I said, I suppose it's important for her to consolidate her memories, so I can't really argue with it. So we went to the villa, we met up with him again. Is it the knocker? Are you thinking about knockers? Well, we haven't come across gumballs yet, but they will become relevant soon. Pink music player, that was with the dog. Punch that microphone. It was, in fact, the lovely, lovely knockers that we got our hands all over. Well, there was only one, but still. Hibiscus boob. And what's the next question? So we went to the boathouse, that was last episode, which kind of bled into this one. Oh yes, we encountered a floater. Well, we saw the bracelet, and we used the life ring, but it is, in fact, Matt's dad's bag, cabbage, cat, fat, Matt, other things that contain the sound ah. So, such a sayable word. And, okay, part 2 of the consolidation process, he says, suddenly slipping into advanced RP. Which reminds me, you lovely people, how would you describe my accent? Because I always consider myself a speaker of British RP, but it's been compared to the Hampshire accent before. I mean, I suppose I fit in Hampshire, but still. Okay, so, where were we reminded of by the picture of Matt's dad's bag? Well, that was when we saw the lakefront, that was when we saw the knocker, that was when we saw the clock tower, that was a picture in Matt's dad's bag, that was at the... Oh yeah, we have all of the flashbacks to consider in all this, but this was the one that we saw in his bag. She's standing in front of the door. Yep, sure enough, that is indeed the right answer. She's just standing in front of the door like, bitch better have my money. And the door is just like, bitch, I am a door. I don't owe anyone anything, and even if I did, I couldn't pay you. Because I am a door! So, Ashley's consolidating her memories, and honestly, since this is the end of a chapter, I think this is a good point to end the episode as well, since we're nearly half an hour into the recording, so... I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next one, we'll do more stuff and enter chapter 3, I suppose. So pardon me while I save the game, as is required of me, and yes, I will see you next time. Have a delicious life. And have some toast to go with that life. Just spread your life on a piece of toast and eat it. Shut up, Tess, the episode's over.